Did you know that 40% of engine failures are caused by overheating? This leads to repairs that range from $500 to over $7,000 in this video. You'll learn how to make your car's cooling system last forever. Let's dive in. Tip number 7, use the right coolant and top it up regularly. One of the worst myths that can ruin your engine is the belief that all coolants are the same. Coolant is one of the most sensitive fluids in your car. Besides absorbing excess heat from the engine, it also reduces rust and corrosion. It's a mixture of antifreeze and water, so it protects your system from freezing too. The major danger of using the wrong coolant is engine rust. Unfortunately, it might take up to a year before you notice any problems. If you've been replacing your radiator often, using the wrong coolant might be the culprit, and that's if you're lucky. In the worst-case scenario, the bearings melt or the engine head cracks. That could set you back over $4,000. Only use the coolant recommended in your manual. Fortunately, you don't have to do this often. Coolant can last up to 7 years or 150,000 miles. Here's an expert tip. Always use distilled water when diluting antifreeze. Some instructions say you can use tap or bottled water, but that's not ideal for modern engines. Distilled water doesn't contain minerals, salts, or impurities that can cause corrosion and buildup, which may lead to overheating. Alternatively, you can use pre-diluted coolant. This ensures the correct antifreeze to water ratio. Before you top off, inspect the coolant reservoir. If you see debris or the color has changed, it's time for the next step. Tip number 6, don't ignore coolant flushes. Did you know that 35% of drivers delay regular maintenance like fluid changes and only take action when a problem arises? By then, it's usually too late, and they end up spending thousands on repairs. Most manuals, like Toyota's, recommend coolant changes after 30,000 miles for silicate-based coolants and 100,000 miles for extended drain coolants. Silicate-based coolants are usually green, extended drain is typically gold or orange. However, most experts recommend a flush every 30,000 to 60,000 miles. Coolants break down over time, and when that happens, corrosion can quickly build up in your radiator, causing the engine to overheat. So how do you know you need a coolant flush? If there's a sweet smell from under the hood, the coolant is likely overheating. Other signs include constant overheating and a gurgling noise when you start the engine. That sound means air pockets have formed in the system. The most obvious sign, visible dirt or discoloration. You also need a flush if you've been using the wrong coolant. Tip number 5, replace your thermostat every 4 to 5 years. This is one of the most overlooked parts of the cooling system, but it's arguably the second most important. The coolant and thermostat work together to regulate engine temperature. When the engine runs too hot, it burns oil and increases fuel consumption. The thermostat is located between the engine and radiator, and it's not easy to access. When the engine is cold, the thermostat stays closed to help the engine warm up. Once it hits operating temperature between 195 degrees Fahrenheit and 220 degrees Fahrenheit, the thermostat opens to let coolant flow. If it sticks shut, your car will overheat quickly. If it sticks open too much, coolant flows, and that can cause serious damage, even though thermostats can last up to 10 years or 100,000 miles. Don't wait that long. Replace it every 4 to 5 years or during a coolant flush. Most mechanics will check it anyway, but always ask and only use OEM parts. They cost about $25 more, but they're worth it. Some modern cars use electronically assisted or map-controlled thermostats. They're more precise but more fragile, so replace them every 4 years too. Tip number 4, regularly examine the radiator cap. There's a myth that any cap will do wrong. The radiator cap doesn't just prevent spills, it regulates pressure inside the cooling system. Most caps are rated between 13 to 18 psi. Newer cars can exceed 20 psi if the cap can't hold proper pressure. Coolant boils at lower temperatures, which leads to overheating. Inspect it regularly, especially before long trips. Check the rubber seal and plastic parts for wear or cracks. The internal spring also weakens over time. Don't wait for a failure. Replace the cap every 4 to 5 years and always match the pressure rating from your manual. Tip number 3, don't let the radiator hoses crack. Radiator hoses carry coolant between the engine radiator and water pump. A leak here can cause catastrophic failure. Inspect hoses often and replace them. If you find any issues, an OEM hose should last about 10 years or 100,000 miles, but using the wrong coolant can shorten their life. There are two ways to check them. Cold inspection: squeeze the hose when the engine is cold. It should be firm. If you hear crunching, the rubber is deteriorating. Look for leaks or damage at the ends. Warm inspection with the engine running. Check for swelling or bulging near clamps. Tip number 2. Keep your radiator clean. The radiator is the largest and most expensive part of your cooling system. It releases heat from the coolant into the air, but since it sits in front of the engine, it gets dirty fast, especially in summer. Bugs, plastic, and debris can clog it, restricting airflow and preventing cooling. Inspect it regularly. Spray it with a hose, ideally using distilled water. Clean it at least once a year during a coolant flush. Your mechanic can deep clean it inside and out. Tip number 1. Inspect the cooling fans. Most drivers check fluid levels, but few check the cooling fans. These fans cool the radiator when the car is moving slowly or stopped. If they stop working, overheating is inevitable. To test them, turn the car on, blast the AC, and see if the fans spin. If only one fan runs and your car has two, overheating can still happen. Fans usually fail due to electrical issues, blown fuse, bad relay sensor wiring, or a faulty motor. Fix it immediately. Bonus. Tip number 1, bleed air pockets after a coolant flush. Every time you flush or top off coolant, air can get trapped in the system. This creates airlocks, blocking coolant circulation and causing localized overheating. Even if your gauge looks normal to bleed air, park on an incline with the radiator cap as the highest point, turn the engine on, and set the heater to maximum. As it warms up and the thermostat opens, air bubbles will rise. Keep topping up until the bubbles stop. Some cars have bleed valves. Check your manual. Bonus tip number 2. How to inspect the radiator for clogs. A clogged radiator is a death sentence. It can blow the head gasket, crack the block, or overheat the engine. But you don't need a mechanic to check for it. Use a thermometer while the engine's running and take readings across the radiator. If part of it is cooler than the rest, it's clogged. Use a radiator flush to clean it and save up to $200 if it's damaged. Buy an aftermarket replacement. They work just as well and can save you up to $600 compared to OEM. Your car's cooling system is sensitive, but also easy to maintain. Just check each part regularly, use the right coolant, and stay ahead of problems. And remember, engine maintenance doesn't stop here. If you want your engine to run like new, check out the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you want your engine to run like new, check out the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.